The following program is a part of Black Squirrel Entertainment.
This week, we've got some questionable gaming trivia.
And some speedy Sonic Shazazz.
All Systems Go starts right now. Greetings and welcome back to another episode of All Systems Go, the show that is the boss of you. Go do your homework or your taxes or whatever. I'm Laz, the guy whose computer science assignment is a week overdue.
And I'm Cassandra, the one who does too much everything for my own good. Let's get started. Nintendo is making a major pricing shift for its upcoming console. Nintendo has announced that physical copies of games for the Nintendo Switch 2 will now cost more than their digital versions. Starting with Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, digital copies will remain at $59.99, while physical editions will be priced at $69.99, a $10 difference. Nintendo says the increase reflects the added cost of producing and distributing boxed copies. The company emphasized that both versions offer the same gameplay experience, giving players more choice on how they purchase games. This pricing model will apply to future Switch 2 titles, though existing games won't be affected. The move comes as Nintendo faces rising production costs and mixed early sales performance for its new console.
Yesterday, March 24th, 2026, Epic Games laid off 1,000 staff members, including design director Christopher Pope, principal engineer Evan Kinney, and lead writer Nick Blahunka. Engagement with Fortnite has been on the decline since last year, and clearly the higher-ups at Epic Games are not satisfied, as evidenced by the price hike of V-Bucks a couple of weeks ago. Some of those who survived the reckoning shared their thoughts. Gameplay producer Robbie Williams said in a social media post, quote, "Our teams will have to pick up the pieces and try to keep moving forward, but we cannot even fully understand what kinds of impact this will have on the game for the rest of the year and likely beyond," end quote. It's a rough situation, and to all the former staff members, I wish you the best in your job search.
Fans of Harry Potter may need to brace for the long waits between seasons of its upcoming TV adaptation. HBO has revealed the series likely won't follow an annual release schedule due to its complexity. HBO executive Casey Bloys compared the other shows to major productions like The House of the Dragon and The Last of Us, noting that large-scale world-building series take a lot of time to produce. While each of the 7 books is still planned to become its own season, the first 8-episode installment is not expected to debut until 2027, despite filming already being underway. Bloys emphasized that the delay is not due to slow work, but the sheer complexity of production, from visual effects to set design. For now, fans can expect a high-quality adaptation, just not a fast one.
Hark, I come bearing news of a great triumph. Let us rejoice, for the dastardly demon, the Sora AI video generation app, has fallen. OpenAI announced yesterday, March 24th, 2026, that they'd be saying goodbye to the Sora app. I can't say I'm particularly surprised with this news because of all the lawsuits and legal threats from the Japanese government, SAG-AFTRA, and others, but this has also resulted in Disney exiting their billion-dollar investment deal from last year, which would have allowed Sora to license Disney-owned characters and content. While I'm sure there are many AI bros whining on Twitter, I, for one, am thrilled to say good riddance to this pulsating tumor of an app.
More Disney news? The puppeteer behind BB-8 says Disney's Star Wars trilogy could become as beloved as the prequels, but it may take a decade. Brian Herring told Game Reactor that, much like George Lucas's prequels, which were initially criticized but later gained nostalgia-fueled fans, the sequels already have a younger fan base that could drive similar affection over time. Herring added that the polarizing reactions online mirror what happened with the prequels, only now the internet amplifies fan debate. He emphasized, quote, "It's perfectly fine if you don't like them. Everything's not for everyone," end quote. Meanwhile, Lucasfilm is keeping fans busy with upcoming projects, including new films featuring Rey and Disney's live-action series The Mandalorian returning this May, with Ryan Gosling's Star Wars Starfighter slated for 2027.
Japan fans, now's your time. The Kent State Cosplay Club's 3rd annual Maid Cafe will be making its appearance this Friday, March 27th, from noon to 4 p.m. in the Schwebel Room on the 3rd floor of the Student Center. There's no entry fee, and any students are encouraged to attend and enjoy refreshments, card games, music, and performances by the maids. I've gone to both of the previous events, and they're always a blast, so I highly recommend attending. Yours truly will be there as usual, so keep an eye out for a Maid Cafe video in the coming weeks.
After the break, who's your favorite video game boss?
I think I need to change my answer. All Systems Go will be right back.
it pretty?
Daddy.
It's pretty.
Maybe I'll say that. Maybe I'll say that.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
My name is Liam Aberly. I am an assistant designer here at Yellow Cake. Everything I do currently is all stuff that builds on top of things I learned at Kent.
They had a different commitment to their craft or to their major. You know, part of that is just who he is naturally, and I think part of that he gleaned and honed at, his time at Kent State.
There has been a bit of a budding scene here in Cleveland between Valerie and some other designers that live around here, and we're really starting to put Cleveland on the map in the fashion world.
From GLaDOS to Calamity Ganon, video game bosses come in just about every shape and size imaginable. Today, Garrett, Brian, Kobe, and I are sharing our thoughts on this vast category of character. So to start, I want to establish what we think makes a good boss in a video game. So for me, personally, it's like there's got to be like a good design to it. Like it can't just kind of be boring. Music plays it plays a pretty strong role for me, and then like it has to feel rewarding. Like it doesn't, I don't want it to feel like unrelated to the stuff I've been doing to reach this boss. I want it to feel like, oh, I've used what I've learned from the previous experience to defeat this boss. So what do you guys think?
I think memorability plays a big part for me. Yeah, I like when a boss is memorable, when I don't know, just don't go, oh, yeah, on to the next, when I take some time to think about it after when it's finished.
For me, it's like a balance of like, okay, is it too easy or is it so hard that I'm like banging my hands against the desk? Is it a good boss? Is it have good music, like you said? And like it depends on like if the game has like loot. It's like, is the loot really good? Do I want to fight him over and over and over again to grind for it? That kind of stuff.
For me, it's kind of like what you guys all said, trial and error. I don't want it to be too hard that it's like impossible to rage quit, but I also don't want it to be too easy where I'm just gonna like beat him in like 3 strikes. But I also like it because I know some games like you have to battle stages, and I know some just like make you battle the character out of the get-go, and sometimes if you go straight to it without like any experience per se, like minions or different stage levels to like get to the final boss, like obviously in the final fight, but like you got like say you got 4 stages to get, and you have to battle the main boss on stage 5. You don't want it to be too easy, but you don't want it to be too hard, and you also want to like get a good strategy.
All right, so building off of the, I'm gonna go into difficulty first. What is the boss that you have found the most difficult to beat?
Cynthia, easily, 100%.
Oh, for me, there's this one boss in Metroid Fusion that's like a spider that's jumping around that I never beat, and also I had trouble with Star Scourge Radon from Elden Ring. That one was difficult. My buddy's got a Star Scourge Radon thing going on. He's like a big guy on a little horse.
I think the last time I fought a really, really difficult boss was when I was fighting the twins on Stallcraft. It took me like 45 minutes, and I was mad for every single one of those 45 minutes. Personally,
I genuinely, I think it has to be Sans in Undertale. When I did the one time I ever did a genocide run, it sucked, and I did not beat him legit. I definitely changed my save file so I had a bunch of healing items. It sucked. I did not like that. I have not been able to do it legit, and I don't really plan on it because that was not a fun experience. Like the one thing I'll give it is it was like kind of rewarding, and it's got a banger theme, but like I don't want to do it again. So another thing that, you know, I think a couple of us said is important in a boss is, like, what's your favorite boss in terms of, like, design? Because I personally have a really, like, strong attachment. Some of it's nostalgia, definitely. But, like, I've got a really strong attachment to pretty much all of the bosses from Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds, because I think they do such a great job of those bosses, like, making them linked to, maybe linked between the, you know, the boss and the dungeon that you have to get through to, you know, reach the boss and fight it. Like the glove one, you have to use the hammer to, like, I think in order to, is that the hammer one? I can't remember for sure, but I know that they all, like, require, the boss fight generally requires using the tool that the dungeon is based around. And I really like a lot of them. I think they're really cool. The ice one is a lot of fun, or it's the one where you use, it's the ice temple, but you use the fire staff. You have to melt it over and over. It's cool. I think they're all really fun, and it's got a fun theme as well.
I like the bosses in Metaphor, the humans, Metaphor ReFantazio, because they're all based around, like, the crazy-looking guys from all those Hieronymus Bosch paintings. I think those are really cool looking and inspired, obviously. Yeah, that's what I would say for my favorite theme design-wise.
For my favorite theme, I would probably say, like, the Terraria bosses, because that's my favorite game of all time. But looking at it from, like, a different perspective, that game is all about, like, okay, you got to build an arena, and then you got to, you know, get up all your potions and get up all your weapons, and then all the bosses are, for the most part, pretty intimidating. And it's the drive and also for getting the loot that they have to then keep progressing into the game and building a strategy for each one of them, because they're all pretty unique. And, you know, again, with building the base, or building the arena, that you gotta work around sometimes, especially for certain bosses, yeah.
That's probably why I was never really able to progress, was because I never really committed to building an arena.
For me, I'd say it's got to be Skylanders Giants, the final battle against Robo Chaos, because it's a big step up from, like, Sparrow's Adventure, because you didn't really battle him. You basically just attacked his minions and shot down his chair. Whereas in this one, he has the Fist of Arcus, so he's in his giant robot form. So you have, like, I'm not kidding, his actual name is Machine Ghost, and there's a guy named Hermit, who is, like, the co-pilot with it, basically. And every now and again, he's gonna just dunk Chaos's head and his arm, and you gotta, like, shoot his Archean red button. So yeah, and you just gotta watch out for the crystal that shoots electricity every now and again.
Well, after the break, Kobe shows us which game mode not to play in Star Wars Battlefront 2. All systems go. We'll be right back.
watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
2.
I recently just got back into the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 that was released back in 2005. I decided to buy it on Steam because I wanted the nostalgic feeling of watching those wrist rockets and having it feel just like the simulations. But also because my PlayStation 2 is nearly 3 decades old and is one smack away from bursting into flames. No, I did not buy the Battlefront Classic Collection from Aspyr. I am not a masochist. It was when I was playing, however, that I found a truly interesting and annoying mode to play in this game. For those who know their game modes, Capture the Flag is a pretty box standard and recognizable mode where 2 teams attempt to capture each other's flag and take them to their respective capture zones to score points and win. However, it has a lesser known cousin in One Flag mode, where rather than having 2 flags, there is a single flag placed in the middle of the map, and once captured must be taken to the enemy territory capture zone. All of this is preamble to say that One Flag mode on Star Wars Battlefront 2 can be quite a pain when viewed on paper, but One Flag mode on Hoth takes the cake for being the topic of today's video. First, let's talk about the map. Rather than use Hoth's main layout of this large area down here, it instead uses the 2 hangar sections, used in the final segments of the Rise of the Empire campaign or the Hunt mode. You know, the one with the Wampas. You'd think that having a smaller map would make things easier, but it doesn't, as I will explain later. Next, let's see what you actually have to do to win one of these matches. Let's say you use the default settings for this mode and you don't tinker with anything else. That means there will be 16 NPCs per faction on the field, of which a faction has to score 5 flag captures to finish the objective, and that is the only way to end the game as there is no time limit. Again, that doesn't seem so hard, but trust me, trying to get 5 flag captures on this map is like trying to cut in line at the DMV. The biggest problem with this mode on this specific map is the AI. When they're not walking right past you pretending it's a normal Tuesday walk around the neighborhood or firing blaster bolts into the dirt, or in this case, snow, they will have a pretty rudimentary understanding of the objective. When the flag is on the ground, most of the nearby AI players will run towards the flag to pick it up. Once picked up, there's a good chance that nearby friendly AI will magnetize to the flag carrier to help them carry the flag to the enemy capture zone. This causes a problem. All of the NPCs from both teams will just end up slamming into each other and shooting at one another in massive clumps, and the AI's way of dealing with this crowd control is throwing several thermal detonators until all the threats are neutralized. All of this is going on towards the center of the small enclosed space on the map, which is where the flag spawns. But let's say the flag carrier gets to this catacomb bridge area. Because the bridges are about 2 character models wide, the AI is forced to go through these bridges single file. Coupled with the very small openings to this bridge area, the chances of a mosh pit occurring while being thermal detonated to death are even higher. With all of that, you get yourself a very fruitless stalemate in which the AI will just endlessly huck themselves at one another until the match ends. Seriously, it is quite difficult for the AI to progress the flag all the way to the capture zones without your assistance. If it's not the brain-dead AI, it's the several auto turrets scattered around said capture zones that kill them. Yeah, you're going to be seeing a lot of yellow text in the kill feed explaining that the flag has been dropped, along with the announcer spewing out the same 6 lines every time someone drops or picks up the flag.
Whoever dropped the flag will pay for their incompetence. Whoever dropped the flag will pay for their incompetence. Whoever dropped the flag will pay for their incompetence. Will pay for their incompetence. Will pay for their incompetence.
Now, this game is pretty synonymous with the player character doing most of the heavy lifting when it comes to any of the modes in this game, but with this situation in particular, you are basically the one doing everything. Killing all the enemy AI, capturing the flag, scoring points, quitting the match, uninstalling the game, deleting the shortcut off your desktop. You are the sole player that dictates how the match goes on because the AI are so incompetent that nothing gets done. So you better be good at this game, because if you aren't, be prepared to expect a lot of Now, most of these complaints go away if you're playing as a hero character. In this case, it's Darth Vader for the Empire and Pilot Luke for the Rebellion. They have the health, speed, jump height, and damage output that actually makes the match much more enjoyable and fun. You get them very quickly via prompts that show up either after a certain amount of time has passed, or if you just play really well and get lots of player points. However, if you want to briefly cosplay as being a masochist, you would just ignore the constant prompts or turn off the option for heroes entirely. This will make an otherwise pleasurable game turn into a brutal endurance test. For that test, I tried out both sides without using their respective heroes, and both matches lasted about 25 minutes. For reference, a typical match of Star Wars Battlefront 2 usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes. The Rebellion match was easier, but that wasn't really saying much since it was very tough to get the flag with so many dopey AI allies going straight towards the flag and picking it up. It also doesn't help that I turned off friendly fire. Oh, but my precious player points and kills will go down if I commit treason. The Empire match, however, was far more difficult, not only because it was harder to score a point with the Rebellion's capture zone placement being so far out and surrounded by trenches, but also because of something that I noticed once I finally scored a couple of flag captures. It appears that the AI actually becomes harder and more accurate the more points you score. If not that, then I have no explanation for why the last point that I had to earn was so much more difficult than the first 4. I gave up and used Darth Vader to get the last point. I'm not proud, but I'm also not a masochist. Check out the scoreboard. Yeah, that's a reasonable amount of points and kills one must get to finish a match. At the end of the day, this instance in minor shoddy game design probably isn't as bad as I'm making it out to be. Heck, I bet some of you people out there probably look at all of this and think that it's a fun and challenging way to experience the game. I am not one of those people, however. So my advice, I have 3 rules for you to consider. 1. Don't play one flag mode on Hoth. 2. Don't play one flag mode on Hoth. And 3. Don't play one flag mode on Hoth.
Whoever dropped the flag will pay for their incompetence by listening to a bunch of Sonic nerds yap for 5 minutes after the break. All Systems Go will be right back.
The collaboration between Kent State and the Cleveland Museum of Natural History is a long-standing one.
Dr. Aaron's experimental lab is really state-of-the-art. It's known internationally.
We can recreate any artifact from the last 3 million years, and the Cleveland Museum of Natural History has pretty much any tool that ancient people use. So we send our students up here to study those examples so they can figure out how to recreate them. And the collaboration led to incredible discoveries right here in Ohio. And it's a dream come true.
At Kent State University, we want all students to develop a global perspective. And with more than 200 study abroad programs in 60 countries, there are many opportunities. One is found in the Central African country of Rwanda, where students connect with survivors of the 1994 genocide.
We're learning about the reconciliation process. Rwanda sort of took a very community-based approach to how they recovered.
In January, a group of Kent State student athletes traveled to Rwanda, where they organized a soccer camp for children.
While we were there, we got to work with kids and spread our knowledge about sports.
And we brought shoes, cleats, soccer balls for everybody.
It was a transformational experience.
The people of Rwanda were full of joy. They were also full of excitement and life.
I think the big thing that I'm going to take home personally from the experience is perspective. There's not just one way to do things.
This was unlike any other academic experience I've ever had.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Hello. If you've seen Sonic the Hedgehog before, you may have noticed that he is cool. Undoubtedly, so too is Sonic's music. But how cool is it? And are some of the soundtracks cooler than the others? I'm Vivian, here with Morgan, Noah, and Michael to discuss the music that we like from the Sonic series. So, what's y'all favorite Sonic soundtrack?
All right, who wants to go first?
Do you want to go for it now? Or?
I got a few because I really like Sonic Generations because it has like a lot of Sonic soundtracks in it, but also I love Sonic Adventure 2s.
That's true. Yeah. Sonic Adventure 2 is very good.
Yeah, it's very solid. For mine, I went with Sonic CD. Because like it has a very wide variety due to having entirely, you get like a lot of remixes of like solid tracks, and that's ignoring like the remix album that they also released, which I used for like the graphic.
Which one's your favorite, the U.S. or the Japanese version?
Oh yeah, that's always a good question.
Probably the Japanese one, specifically because like a bunch of the like Bad Future remixes tend to be like really good. Like that's not to say the rest of the soundtrack's bad, but like I just really like the Bad Future ones, which is kind of unfortunate.
I like a mix.
Yeah, you like a mix of good and Bad Future?
No, both the U.S. and the Japanese. Because I think the U.S. boss theme's awesome as a boss theme, but I like a lot
that
more.
One's scary. That one's
US
horrible.
Yeah, but that's awesome.
It's not. It's just like evil laughter, and then it's not even a song actually.
Yeah, but it's like awesome.
The Japanese one just clears it out of the water. I'm sorry, I spat everywhere, but the Japanese one just clears it out of the water. It's beautiful.
I think the Japanese boss theme sounds a bit like more like funky in a way that I think is good. But the U.S. one is definitely a bit more like intimidating, which is like the U.S. like depictions of Robotnik anyway were trying to be like a lot more scary about him anyway. Like in Sad AM, he was so like horrible.
He was a menace.
Yeah.
Scary. I picked Sonic Rush because I think Hideki Naganuma's music. I mean, frankly, it needs no introduction, but like
there's some
it's
crazy.
just such a treat that we were able to get him to compose for a Sonic game.
There is some crazy sampling in this soundtrack in particular.
Yeah.
It's like
You got Malcolm X in there.
There's also like on like I think it's like Scratch Me, I think is the track. Like they use a
Metal
sample.
Scratching.
Yeah, metal scratching. They like use a sample from like an actual Tom and Jerry cartoon. It's like that bit that goes, Go ahead, scratch me. Like that's literally from a Tom and Jerry cartoon. I love it. There's so much weird stuff like that.
I didn't know
it's
that.
amazing.
It's just a joy to listen to,
It is a
even when it's
fascinating
compressed on the Nintendo DS.
I feel like that makes it better. I feel like that's like he worked with that. I love Bomber Barbara is like one of my favorite tracks.
I also think that the Richard Jacques' work on Sonic 3 Blast for the Saturn and Sonic R is quite underrated. It's not my favorite, but I think it's worth mentioning. I heard a really good jazz rendition of Can You Feel the Sunshine recently, and it's bouncing around my head. 8-Bit Big Band. It's really good.
I love 8-Bit Big Band.
Oh yeah, no, they're great.
Well, my favorite has to be Sonic CD's Japanese soundtrack. I think just banger after banger after banger. And then I listened to the US one, and I'm just like, oh my God, they ruined my boy. Like, they ruined him. Like, what were they thinking? You know, just these Western people are just like, I don't even know what they're thinking. But no, Sonic CD is so good. It's just, they're just really going for something there. And yeah.
I do think it was an odd choice for them to remake the entire soundtrack for the Western audiences.
I don't know. I kind of.
But also, I think the Western soundtrack for Sonic CD is also kind of underrated. It's like it's still pretty all right.
It's not bad.
I think it does a different function where I think Sonic CD's, the Japanese soundtrack, is a lot better just as songs to listen to.
Yeah.
I think the American version sets the atmosphere better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially for some of the Bad Future tracks. I think it was for Metallic Madness.
Metallic Madness, I think.
Yeah, I think it was for Metallic Madness. It just gives the vibe for it better, like this more. How do I put it? Like gloomy.
It was just like a giant metal monolith you're going.
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
Like it fills that space. It fills that space better. Yeah.
Moving on to the next question. We've gone over our favorites, but what Sonic soundtrack do you think might give you the most nostalgia of all of them so far? I would say Sonic Heroes in general, but especially the opening intro, because that was the first one I played as a kid.
I think for me it has to be Sonic Generations because that was the game I played the most as a kid. It's a very replayable title. I love like getting faster and faster times in it, so just hearing the music over and over again is really, I've just really grown up with it, I guess. And yeah, I would say that's my most nostalgic soundtrack.
Not a common choice for nostalgia, considering. Well, I guess
it kind of was our era more so.
I don't know. Well, I grew up on the GameCube Sonic games, so like for me, nostalgic is like Sonic Adventure 2. So I find it weird to think of Generations as nostalgic, but I guess it kind of is at this point.
Yeah. That was like, I think, my first Sonic game.
I was definitely still pretty young when Generations came out.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a bad Sonic soundtrack?
I don't know, like Sonic Blast or something, like those really old niche titles. Like
I don't remember what Sonic Blast
That was on the Game Gear. It was a pre-rendered, so it was a 3D pre-rendered game on the Game Gear, which, if you don't know, the Game Gear is an 8-bit console.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine that.
6 batteries.
But I think Sonic Erasure might be the worst Sonic soundtrack. Yeah, it was a Sega. So it was secondly a Sega Satellaview was their thing, and so it was a satellite matching game with Sonic.
Okay, yeah.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
That just sounds really compressed.
I feel like one people often pick on is the Sonic Spinball options menu. That's mostly, I just think the instruments are really loud. If the instruments are like mixed a little better, I think it's honestly kind of fun.
So funny story about that. It was actually broken in the menu, which is why it sounds like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess if I were to give like an answer for a more substantial game, I don't think Lost Worlds is necessarily the worst exactly, but I do think it's like underwhelming, I guess. Like a lot of the tracks just don't stick in my mind as much. But
there's a couple that have stuck with me, but yeah, I agree with you.
All right, that's all wonderful time. I'm glad we got to talk about music that we like. After the break, I suspect that there will be a trivia segment, one based in suspicion, or something weird like that. All systems go. We'll be right back.
Registration for Lavender Celebration is open now. Lavender Celebration is a historic pre-commencement ceremony held to honor queer graduating students. Now hosted by Pride Kent, this event will be held on April 30th from 6 to 9 p.m. in the Kent State Student Center Ballroom with a community reception at 5. Join us for a free dinner and award ceremony with keynote speakers and watch the graduates walk the stage and receive our iconic rainbow stoles. Bring your friends, family, and absolutely anyone.
When you reach for your prescription medications, you trust that the medicine is going to do what it's supposed to do, make you feel better. That trust comes from knowing that teams of doctors, biologists, chemists, pharmacists, and other health scientists at the FDA are working tirelessly to protect the health of the American public by making careful, informed decisions about which new drugs to approve. Find the answers at fda.gov/drugs.
Did you know it's a violation of the Geneva Convention to use the official Red Cross emblem in video games? See, I like those kinds of weird facts about video games. They're so wacky and wild, and can even get a little suspicious. I have Laz, Morgan, Lynn, Noah, and Charlene here today, and we're going to see, and they're going to test if they know any of these weird, very weird facts about video games. The rules are simple. I'll ask the question and list off the answers. The player gives me those answers, and if they are correct, they get a point. Whoever receives the most points wins. Are we all ready, guys?
Yes.
Let's do this.
All right, sweet. Question 1. Which video game allows you to spin the main character around in the options menu so much that they puke? Is it A, Metal Gear Solid 3, B, Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, C, Bubsy 3D, or D, Grand Theft Auto Vice City? Start off a little tame, and then we're going to get into the real stuff.
All right. This seems like
I have my answer. I'm showing it.
Yep.
You are all incorrect. It is actually A, Metal Gear Solid 3.
That did kind of sound like that, but
It does kind of feel like something Kojima. yeah, that kind of does seem like something Kojima would do.
Alrighty, question 2.
All right.
What Sega Dreamcast game involves you taking care of a fish with a human face on it? Is it A, Seaman, B, Sea Kittens, C, Fishkin, or D, Homunculus?
I'm not quite sure, so I'm gonna go with the weird answer.
Those answers. Noah, Lynn, and Laz, you are correct. It is A, Seaman.
Haha, funny Seaman.
It was.
I have a bad feeling about
The great thing is that, like, isn't the Seaman voiced by Leonard Nimoy?
I think
Is
so.
it actually?
I think that's amazing.
Alrighty, question 3.
Caution, Seaman.
Which video game is among the games that were responsible for the creation of the ESRB rating system after containing a scene where an enemy used a device to drain a woman's blood? Is it A, Mortal Kombat, B, Doom, C, Night Trap, or D, Carmageddon?
No. So.
This is a trick question.
It's a trick question?
It's a trick question?
A little bit.
Wait, so.
You can't just tell us it's a trick question halfway through.
Wait,
us
so
writing our
is
answer.
Oh, wait, my answer's not obvious at all. Hang on.
Because, like, I didn't
It's not
think
better.
it was A, but.
Noah,
Now you-
Charlene, Lynn, and Laz, you are correct. It is C, Night Trap.
Where was the trick?
Where was the trick?
The trick was Mortal Kombat has blood in it.
That's not a trick, because.
It is kind of.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
We need to have a chat about what a trick
Oh,
question is.
I'm going to start taking points away from you guys if you keep complaining over there. All right, next question. Speaking of the ESRB, which video game contained a fan-made mod known as the Hot Coffee mod that caused it to get recalled from stores and temporarily given an adults-only rating? Is it A, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, B, Red Dead Redemption, C, Crackdown 2, or D, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind?
That doesn't sound like something that would happen. Well, I committed to my failure, so.
Everyone except Morgan is correct.
Yep.
It is A, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
That felt like something GTA people would do.
That felt like a Grand Theft Auto thing.
Yeah.
Base code and someone modded it back in.
It was in the files.
Somehow that makes it better.
Now we're going to get to the good stuff. Which video game initially planned to advertise their game on gravestones in an attempt to help advertise the game and help pay for grieving families' burial costs? Is it A, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, B, Shadow Man's Second Coming, C, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, or D, House of the Dead?
Oh, God, I've heard this story. No, I've heard this story before. I can't remember the game.
Neither.
I remember the publisher. I don't remember the game. Oh. I think. I don't think this is it.
My goodness, you're all wrong. It's actually B, Shadow Man's Second Coming.
Wasn't it? Was it made by Acclaim? Am I
It was
thinking?
made by Acclaim.
Yes, I heard of this. I forgot the game, but I remembered that. Yeah.
My freaking gut.
Shadow Man.
My gut has not steered me wrong.
Next question. Which video game has a secret button combination to access the hidden credit screen, in which at the very end it shows the text, F off Bin Laden? Is it A, Metal Gear Solid 2, B, Crazy Taxi 2, C, NASCAR Thunder 2002, or D, E.T. Planetary Mission? Fun fact, all those games came out in 2001.
Okay, well actually I'm not going to change my answer then.
Lynn and Morgan, you are correct. It is D, E.T. Planetary Mission.
It didn't seem like something Kojima would do, which is what guided me.
I never heard of this game in my life, but I'm so happy that like some random that there's like people still like taking up the mantle of like putting really, really troubling stuff. Not troubling, but like really bizarre stuff.
Excuse me?
What?
Really bizarre stuff?
Troubling?
I mean, like, it seems out of place. It's like a movie that's like several years old. Like, what? What are you?
I don't know. I feel like we can all agree with that statement.
I mean, me too.
Alrighty, next question. Which video game initially offered a pre-order bonus of glow-in-the-dark condoms exclusively through GameStop in Italy? Is it A, Xenoblade Chronicles, B, Infamous Second Son, C, Dead Island Riptide, or D, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball?
This seems like the obvious answer, but I don't know if it's true.
I'm mad because I know you were telling me about this one at some point. And
Laz, what is your answer?
It says B.
Laz, you are correct.
Yes!
It is Infamous Second Son.
I didn't, that was a guess, but I definitely do remember you telling me about this when you were Googling it.
That sounded too easy. Like, Second Son, you get a condom? Like, come on. I mean,
Oh, man. Next question. Which NES game had a phone number within the game that you could call for game hints, but then got discontinued in 1990 and then reassigned to a sex hotline? Is it A, Dick Tracy, B, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, C, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or D, Friday the 13th?
This is a guess.
Charlene and Noah, you are correct. It is Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Completely.
That one feels
I
appropriate
didn't hear
somehow.
about it, but it completely sounded like something.
That does
would
sound like
pop
something
up in
Who Framed
that.
Roger Rabbit would do. Yeah.
The writing's on the wall.
Oh.
Alrighty,
I
next
gotta sneak peek
question.
at the question.
What Pokemon in the Season 1 of the Pokemon anime had such a horrible debut that their episode caused seizure-like symptoms for 685 Japanese viewers? You are all correct. It is Porygon.
The best one.
I gotta say, technically, Pikachu was the
Yeah,
one
but
that
they couldn't
caused
afford to
it.
they couldn't afford to ban
Porygon was
Pikachu.
the
That
fall.
is true.
They can't ban the mascot.
All right, as I tally up the scores here, it appears through my scoring system that we have a three-way tie between Laz, Lynn, and Noah.
They gotta do three-way rock, paper, scissors to determine the victor.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's episode of All Systems Go. Follow our Instagram for some fun behind-the-scenes content and our YouTube for past episodes. All Systems Go, signing off. Peace.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Another. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact.